Good evening, folks. Just thought of doing the second video on this new build that I've done with REEFER 425 XL. The filtration system, I had to think twice about putting in what I wanted to put in, because the priority was to have a clean sump and something that is manageable. I just don't want to chuck in everything into the sump. So thought about it a lot. Initially I bought a very expensive biopellet reactor, but then I thought about, biopellets have been tried and tested before. Issues with it being messy and not having enough control over the nutrients in terms of what it's taking out, what we are putting in. So I decided to go with Zeovit, and I've gone with pretty heavy duty equipment in terms of the price that I had paid, but it's a long-term investment and one that hopefully pays off. So if I show you what the methodology or the logic I have for the filtration setup, you can see that I've got two return pumps here. One which is feeding the tank. You can see it's in Eheim 2200, which is the return pump feeding the main tank, and you can see that I have got this Reef Octopus 150 skimmer, which skims like crazy. I mean, it's a pretty new tank, and you can see they skim it, which is pretty dark. Apart from it, you can see that I have this Zeovit reactor, which is Vertex. It's a 425 XL, so I'm putting in 1 liter of Zeovit media along with all the blue bottles that I have. Then you can see these three drip lines which are coming in from my dozer. I've gone with J-Bow Wi-Fi, which is feeding in the alkalinity, magnesium and calcium. You can also see this temporary return pump, which is basically feeding the UV, because the tank had a little infestation with dinoflagellates, which is now very much under control. I'm running UV partially just to make sure that dino never returns. Apart from it, you can see there's the filter sock, which allows me to vacuum the bare bottom tank. It's here. I've gone with the scrubber light, which lights up the refugium. Filter socks here and there, as you can see. One more thing that I've employed, I never had on any of my tanks, was you can see this UV here, which is basically keeping the disease like ick or dinoflagellates in check. You can see this J-Bow Wi-Fi, which still has one dozer motor left, which I can use for many things. I've gone with chiller this time around as well, which is the D&D chiller. It's currently off because it's not that hot in UK for now, but this will come on during the summer and basically keep the temperature in check. You can also see that I've put in a relay here, which basically I just push this blue button, and the whole tank, including the return pumps and everything, goes into the feeding mode, and this relay can be programmed for 20 minutes, 5 minutes. It's from ABB, and this relay can be programmed for feeding mode to go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So that's pretty good. You can see here it says, if I can show you, you can see delay timer relay. It's pretty expensive actually, from ABB, and you can see these are my Radeon's power supplies. So pretty packed, but I've tried to keep the sump quite clean because this is a priority. I have struggled in the past where the sump becomes too messy that you almost lose interest. I mean, and you don't know where to start the cleaning from. Apart from that, I have put in the RCD in terms of the electricity, which is basically giving extra protection in terms of the power failure or any short circuit, because I've lost a tank before because of the short circuit, where the electricity got leaked into the water, and I lost everything in there big time. So you can see pretty neat power cable setup, supplies. You can see I've tried to label everything, which tells me what it is for, or else it can become very, very messy. You can see here as well. So you can also see that I've got I'm running carbon as well with Zeovit, which is putting in the passive flow area, but this is what they recommend. You can see I've got little sponge here as well, which filters out what goes into the return. So if I can show you how to put in the other power supplies as well, you can see here I've got, you know, RFI filter, that's the electric bed. I've got a little exhaust fan here as well, if I can show you. This exhaust fan is basically keeping the air circulated. It's getting pretty dirty for now, which I need to clean, but it's there. So pretty thought out sump in terms of what I wanted to do. I mean, it took me about 3 months to basically design what the sump should look like, and then my tank was running empty at that time. So really pleased with how it all came together, because I can see the impact it has on the tank. But obviously how the tank is going along, this is something we will look at in the next videos. But it's going pretty special, considering it's a tank which is only 5 months old, and my acroporas are encrusting on the rocks, and the montes are growing. Everything is pretty quick with growth. So that's unusual for the tank which is that new, but this is something we will cover later. In the next video I will show you what my lighting looks like. I've gone with the radions, but I'll show you what logic I've employed. But it's my dream build, and I wanted to take my time to basically design how everything should pan out. You can also see I've got this temperature controller as well here, which is making sure there's a secondary protection. There's a primary protection for the heaters, which I've gone with the Eheim heater, which is Eheim Jagger. It's pretty special. You can also see here I've got this you know, the pumps, which is DMC Reef tied. There's a pH meter here giving me good reading of 8.1, 8.2. So really pleased with how everything has come together. It's a foolproof system with multiple protections in terms of power, in terms of heating control, in terms of the feeding mode for the relays and everything, in terms of the chiller, in terms of the UV, in terms of the controller. So everything is pretty much thought out. That's the best build that I've ever made until now. I used to have a nano tank before that, but really pleased with how everything comes together. So we will look into the lighting in the next video, but for now this is all I had to share. Once again I say, mate, our dreams are very important. Never give up on those. Take care from Cam. Thank you.